Oh, hello. Do you think that Big Brother is watching? Or that the Illuminati is planning to take over the world? Have you had an encounter with a space alien today? If the answer to those questions is yes, then grab your hat. This is tinfoil hat time. Welcome back to tinfoil hat time. So this is today's going to be something that's been on my list for a long time. I've discussed it with a lot of people for a while, and what we're going to do here is just have a look at this issue and this problem that schools do not tend to teach anything about internet security. We're pushing all sorts of stuff on our students, but we don't teach them anything about how to successfully or healthily manage those things. So that's kind of what we're doing here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in here, starting to have a quick look at the comments and all of the early folks that just jumped on earlier. So NK, hello. NK asked, what is the best free plugin for web shop in WordPress? I use WooCommerce, of course. Daniel, hello. How's it going? Chuck, hello. Greetings, Ryan. How are you doing? Greetings, Piggy Uniform. Back home now. Sweet. Cool. Alright, NK. Thank you, Tom. Greetings from Greece, by the way. 4 in the morning here. Alright, hey, glad you're either still up or woke up early to be here with us. Cool. That's pretty sweet. It's interesting to know, since I've been doing YouTube, I have a better sense of how far things really are. You know, like... I think I know we have America represented and Greece now. I don't remember what the other ones are. Crap, the notifications didn't fail me this time. Sweet. Awesome. You know, good to know that if you want notifications, they work. If you don't want them, then sometimes it's hard getting to go away, but oh well. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into this, and I actually have an article online where I'm going to be using this as a basic cheat sheet here. But this is, I wrote a full article to go with this because I kind of want this to be some easy tips, some things to read about and think through. And so you can look at that. I'm really just going to be scrolling through that and talking about the things that come to mind and integrating in the comments that we see. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and have a look at the topic here. So what we are going to be looking at is this internet best practices and the fact they're not taught in schools. So I know at least 2 people I have on here are probably in school. I don't know about anybody else. But school systems around America, at least, are really pushing technology onto the students. But as they're pushing technology onto the students, they're not backing up a little bit to teach the students how to properly manage all of these services. So we're pushing, in the school district where I'm at, we push emails. I think, what did my friend say? I think it's like middle school. When you first get to middle school, which, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, somewhere around there. In fact, earlier than that, I think it's 5th grade is when they got their emails. They're pushing Chromebooks on all the students. All the students have emails from Google. They have Chromebooks, all these things. And even the school, on his own personal computer, the school encouraged him to sign in and lock the Google account to his computer. That literally meant that one day the Google network for the school went down. He couldn't even get on the internet at home when he wasn't doing school stuff. I had to go over there and remove Google from the stupid computer, and we got that working again. But the problem is that we're pushing out these emails, we're pushing out the services, we're pushing out the free online websites, we're pushing out all of this stuff, and we're not teaching the students the detrimental effects of all of the potential challenges and problems we see. Now, there is one area I talked in detail about on a previous video that I'm going to add a card for that video and remind you of it, and that is the let me grab the title of it here real quick. It is a tinfoil hat time, and it is called Spying on Students Through Technology. This was actually based on an EFF article that looked specifically at the privacy, so we went through that whole article. And so give me a second, I'm going to carve that into the video here, and that way we will have it here if you are following along after we're done recording. You should be able to find that now. And so what we're going to do here is consider the other side, well, one of the other sides. There's so many sides to education. I'm going to be talking about all of them over the course of the next, 6 months or so. But the side we're talking about now is that we're pushing all these services onto students, but what we're not doing is teaching students how to properly use those resources. So I'm going to have a quick look at our comments real quick. Let's see. I'm in school right now. Watching YouTube in school. Sweet. Tea on a Sunday. A few weeks ago, I was called out for using DuckDuckGo at school. They told me to use Google. That really annoyed me. Why? Why do you have to use Google at school? Can somebody please explain this to me? If I'm not careful, I'm going to light myself on fire. I did it. I lit myself on fire. All right, guys. Why? Is it not bad enough that they dictate to you what email address you have to have and what service you have to use and all these? Now, if you're doing an internet search online, they want you to specifically use Google? Why? Of course, Google totally tied into your Google account or your Microsoft account or whatever else. This is just crazy, people. Let's stop. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. That's insane. That's insane. What? Do they just not know what DuckDuckGo is? What, do they think that it was like some, bad adult site search engine? Why? Why are they insisting you just use Google? Ask them why. Why? Oh, just released Debian EDU Linux stretch for schools. I'm going to look into that. Let's see. Please comment on a link. Listen and work at the same time. I will have a quick look at that link and see what that says. So is that det or dot? I don't know where a det is. Actually, I know where det is. I can't find that article there, Piggy Uniform. Give me a not found. I'll have to look at that later. They didn't know what it was. They thought it was to bypass their web filters they have at school. Well, you know what? If you as a student can bypass their web filters sitting at the computer, logged into the school's computer, their IT guy needs fired. Watch, I don't know the name of it, but Eli, the computer guy, the other day answered a question. It was basically a newbie database administrator was hired, and on day one they gave him a piece of paper that detailed how you get into the database to produce a local instance on your computer for testing. All right, and what happened there is that the guy followed the instructions, entered one command wrong, and wiped out the entire production database for this big company. And on top of that, they didn't have good verified backups, so they couldn't restore it. So they were all like, "What'd you do? You're fired. You're out of here. You're so stupid." Blah blah blah. No. As Eli, the computer guy, rightly said, the database administrator, the main head sysadmin, and the CTO were all the idiots here. Because what in the world are they doing where A, they don't have backups on a production database for their company, and B, how could a junior programmer on his first day take out the production servers? That means you have a serious problem. So if you as a student, Ryan, could bypass their web filters by using a search engine, it shows that A, they have no idea what a computer is, and so we need to get them out of the classrooms. Because a computer is like a gun. Okay, it is dangerous if it's in the classroom and the teacher doesn't know what you're doing with it. But, great, perfect segue for this. Yeah, the biggest problem is that the teachers don't even have a basic understanding of internet security. How can they possibly help the students along? I think any school that gives a student an email address from Google or gives somebody a Chromebook or requires extensive use of computers, they need to have an introductory internet security course and at least once a year for one semester, basics on internet security and privacy and practices. So if you guys mess up, at least you were informed. But the way it is right now, nothing. Oh boy, an original meme goes here. Taking on the Pepe. Suspended for using Manjaro a month ago because having a terminal open means you're hacking the school network, although I was just trying to close my SSH server. Yeah, this is a problem. Yeah. Like, we're so stupid. We don't even know how to terminal. Whoa, there's black and numbers on the screen. We don't know what it is. It's not a UI. Yeah. Oh boy, I don't know, 11-year-old install Opera and use Opera VPN on Chromebook. They checked her out. They checked out to her. Also taught her to use Start Page. I also taught her to use Start Page and Ad Block. Oh, don't do that, man. You're going to prevent them from blocking all the ads and stuff. Can't comment links because of your YouTube replace that with a... Yeah, I actually did get YouTube access once on Google, bypassed it using Google. Wow. There you go. Yeah, there's ways around it. What else could you do? Yeah, I mean, I have to look at the specific instance to see how to get around it, but that's one of the pieces of advice we're gonna look at here. So basically, what we're gonna look at here is where's my I need my full screen with my title back. There we are. We're going to drop the comments off for a little bit there. All right. So what we're going to look at here is there's a challenge. Of course, a lot of your companies, and this is really that big focus on the article I put in earlier, with the companies, what they do is they're pushing out Google's got, of course, number one. Microsoft is trying to get in there. I thought I saw something where Amazon was trying to get in, but I didn't make sense to me. Like, I didn't know they had any school-focused things to do that. But they're pushing all these things. Of course, I argued in that other video, and the EFF argues that this is all about data collection and lack of privacy for students. And so we need to take a firm stand. I'm not going to address those issues this time. Check out that video for that. But the companies are giving out these free or low-cost online educational resources. We have the schools giving out Chromebooks or computers, usually Chromebooks because they're easier to lock down and you can more easily manage them as an administrator level. But the problem is that we're pushing all these things out. We're pushing out third-party websites. We're pushing out all these other things, but we're not teaching the students about basic online stuff. So the first area we're going to look at is your devices, okay? So I broke this down into a few different devices, and if you can think of a device category that I missed, let me know. But your device categories basically include your own computer, okay, and I'm going to separate your computer for, your phone. Your own computer, a school-issued computer, a school computer, which is not necessarily issued to you. And the difference there is that a school computer is one that's like a workstation set up at the school. You're not taking it home. So you could be accessing a website on your own personal computer, either at home or at school. You could access it on a school-issued computer, a school workstation, or you could access information on a personal mobile device. Okay. Now, the safest of these options, if you're accessing a website or whatever, it is your private personal computer, because the school cannot lock down the administrator account and you have the ability to manage the administrator account. Now, with that being said, a school computer, not the issued computer, but the school workstation, those are generally okay because so many people use them throughout the day. That is one of the better ones for data tracking, so long as you don't have to log in and tie all the usage to you, although typically that is what happens. Now, about your own personal computer, if you have the ability to manage your own personal computer, then what you can do is you can adjust the host file to block ad networks. You can adjust, block out any services you don't need. Like if you don't need Facebook, block Facebook, because Facebook has one of the largest data trackers across the world. And if you don't even have a Facebook account and you have not blocked Facebook on your host file or on your router level, then what they're going to do is they are actually going to come in and track everything you're doing, and they build what is called a ghost profile, meaning it's a profile of a person, but that person does not yet have an account. They know who you are. They're waiting for you to create your account. And then once you create your account, then they're going to take all of that data they've collected over you and then link that into your account. And it's going to be shocking that all of the things you recommend are all based upon sites you've already been to. And that's kind of scary. That gets creepy. So if you don't use a Facebook account, block Facebook. If you don't use an Instagram account, block Instagram. If you don't use a Twitter account, block Twitter. Okay. On your personal computer, you have the ability to block those and all of the other ad networks, so you can make yourself a much safer, much more private computer without that. But if it's a school-issued computer, they have locked down the administrator privileges, and you can't do that. And so you have to keep that in mind. Biggest problem with Chromebooks. If anybody has a Chromebook out here, I do not know the answer to this question. I imagine that the answer is no. But if you have a Chromebook or have access to a Chromebook, can you edit the hosts file? I'm not sure if you can, but somebody let me know. Just because you can't do it on a mobile phone either. At least not without a good old jailbreak. All right. So the school-issued computers are usually blocked on administrative access. Let's see, there's the Chromebooks, and basically here, consideration here is to prioritize the device you use for educational tasks. So if you have the capability of having one work dedicated to your personal life and one computer dedicated to your school work, that is the best way to do it. If you don't have that luxury and you're on a computer, whether or not you're on a Mac, a Linux, or a Windows computer, you can create a separate user login. Create a login for you as the student and you as the rest of your life. What you're looking for is a degree of separation that puts each user, even with Windows 10, each user has their own, quote, advertiser ID. And then what you can really do to mess with the algorithm every now and again is just wipe the school account and rebuild it. Relog in. It just kind of helps keep things clean. Of course, what I didn't include in the article is wipe out your cookies on a very regular basis. Wipe out your cache on a very regular basis. Whatever the things that we can do to prevent this school service, because ultimately it's that big school service, Microsoft or Google, is trying to track as much information about you as they can, and that's what you want to minimize. So use your own personal computer. If you can have the ability to do two separate computers, do a separate computer for your life and a separate computer for your school life. Completely separate computers. If you're using Linux and you can use Linux for your schoolwork, get a little USB thumb drive and that's your school computer. That works great. I do that. I have some of my entire client projects are all on one drive, and that'll work out just fine. Make sure it's backed up and stuff. But use your own computer where you can. Lock down the computer, use separate computers or at least separate accounts, and make sure you're locking down your host file to prevent ad networks and all sorts of other things from getting in there. Let's have a look at our comments here. We had a lot of comments jump down through here. All right, know what it was. Stupid YouTube filters. yeah, and I just couldn't get to that link there, Piggy Uniform, sorry. All right, got suspended for using Manjaro. Okay, we looked at that one already. I'll just use a separate computer. Yep. They let kids at their school use their own tablets and phones. Yeah, that's a moving trend. It's called BYOD, I think, bring your own device. That's what they do. So basically the idea is you bring it. This raises a security challenge because it's much harder for me as a sysadmin to do anything security on your privately owned device. You can do a little bit, but not as much. Let's see, I want to present a project in my university to install Linux on the computer labs. Have any opinions or advice how to achieve that? Greetings from Mexico. Well, greetings. It looks from your icon there that you prefer the Ubuntu family. Let's see. Present a project to install Linux on the computer labs. Okay, the biggest challenge I think to installing Linux on a public computer system is you have the education trend. So what you want to do is you want to focus on a Linux distro that is closest to what is already there. So I'm imagining if it's computer labs in Mexico, you're probably looking at replacing Windows is the thought. So replacing Windows, I would do based upon your icon, assuming you like Ubuntu, I would propose to install Ubuntu Mate. And then what you can actually do is install Ubuntu Mate, configure it much like Windows. What I don't like about Ubuntu Mate is it has the bar on the top, like the regular Ubuntu does. The menu comes down from the top. Isn't my favorite menu. And then what happens is a person will look at that and not know exactly how to deal with it. But if you just drop the panel down to the bottom, put the more advanced menu down there in the bottom like Windows has, and set that up, then what you can do is you can actually save a copy of all that information. Hey, stop it. The cat's being mischievous. Yeah. I have a lot of, as you can see, a lot of gizmos and stuff up on here, and the ones that are on the lower shelves, the cat sometimes like to play with during my tinfoil hat times. And so I'll hear something fall, and in this case it was my, my little jumper game here that I have. And yeah, he often likes messing with one of the lower shelf Rubik's Cubes. But anyway, yeah, that's what I would do. And then you can get the distro the way you like it, and then reburn the ISO that way. And I forget which program it is to do that. And then you can deploy a Ubuntu Mate that is closer to Windows. That's what I would do. But then you have to have some education courses to teach people how to use the Linux system, because some people are going to be like, yeah, it's not Windows, I don't know what to do with it. In fact, if you want to watch something really funny, watch that. There was some video by some special snowflake a while back that she ordered a computer from Dell, and she didn't know what she was ordering, and she ordered a computer with Ubuntu on it, and she's blaming Dell for dropping out of school. Huh? Like, I don't know what to do with this. This isn't... Like, she literally puts in a disk from her ISP to install their bundle suite to run the internet, which doesn't make any sense to me, because you don't need to install some suite from your ISP to run the internet in most scenarios. Like, it won't load the exe file. I don't know why. And then she's blaming Dell for dropping out of school. Please, you don't need to be in school anyway. Just go retread tires for a little bit. Yeah, but anyway. Oh boy. Oh, come on, YouTube. You gotta fix this comment thing. All right, during free time, of course. If I was able to access the internet from school workstation, I'd use a live USB. Yep. They will suspend you because you are not using Microsoft Windows 10. That's right. Hey, Fidel, how are you? Other distros will take over your Linux Mint. I'm not going to replace my Linux Mint. I like my Linux Mint. My Linux Mint works beautifully for me, so... School-issued computers I hate because of the privacy policy with no admin privileges. Yep, that's it. My design teacher, who has been in the industry for years, doesn't know what Inkscape or GIMP is, which is surprising. Well, what happens is you get locked into like these school editions. Like, my brothers went to school for video game design, and they don't teach you any of the open source. He got the student license for the whole Adobe suite, which basically was like, a little discount off of the full Adobe suite, but they called the academic versions. It's like half the price, but it was the academic version, so you're legally not allowed to publish with it. And then, you know, you had the academic version of 3ds Max, and they taught you all these things. And education would be a whole lot better off if they stopped bowing the knee to proprietary software companies for the extra money and said, you know what, guys, this is all about education. If education is really truly how to help people in society, then we're not going to teach them how to use a software package that costs thousands of dollars, who are moving on to a methodology where it's all subscription service based. It's going to kill people. It's going to kill us as individuals. It kills us small businesses. A small business cannot possibly afford $300 a month for 3ds Max to start out doing your video game design. But why aren't the schools teaching anything with Blender? It does the same things. It's just free and open source, and you can use it without buying a site license. Shocking. But yeah, GIMP, Inkscape, like now... Granted, if you do go through a course and you know how to use Illustrator, you can figure out Inkscape pretty easy. You know, if you know how to use Photoshop, you can figure out, you know, GIMP pretty easy. But yeah, that's a challenge. Is that even the teachers and this stuff do not know what it is, because they're so locked into the ecosystem of we use Photoshop, and Adobe loves this because it keeps you brand loyal. But then what happens is they start, you know, either suspending, killing, or making things incompatible with other future operating systems, requiring you to buy a new copy. And then what ends up happening is you're stuck into a subscription service, because I cannot buy Adobe anymore. When CS5 came out, I went out onto Amazon and I bought one of the last copies of CS4. They had 3 left. I bought one of them. And it cost me like about $2,000. So it's like a 60% discount, because that package was like $5,000 or something. So I bought it for a little under $2,000. And when I got that package, it was like, you know, it was good software. It really is good software. But now, to use the Adobe suite that I have, that I would use right now, I'd be paying $100 a month to use it. I can't afford $100 a month to use those services, but that's the type of thing that they push you into. They push you into that stuff, and they don't teach you how to use free and open source software packages that can do the same silly things. Oh boy. Ryan, actually, a lot of professors on my major are familiar with Linux. The real problem is other majors, professors, and students. Yep. Okay, they're not brain dead. Refuse it because of those reasons. We need to collect all information, protect the children, and why? Wait, what? Huh? What? Okay, hold on. Refused it because of those reasons. Okay, quote, we need to protect, collect all information from, protect the children. Why? That's it. Paste the Arch links URL from DuckDuckGo. Well, Piggy Uniform, I can't take the time to look at Arch stuff right now. I really don't. I've used Arch once or twice, and I don't know much, so I'm not going to take that, as it's going to probably take me off topic. All right. What if I did a school USB flash drive? I'd be suspended for hacking when I wanted to use a different OS? Probably, Ryan. Probably, but you never know. My other PC is dead. Bummer. Let's see. School will never do all that. Let's see. This is my major on other information technologies. We do a lot of programming. Use a lot of my classmates. Person I know doesn't have the internet or TV at home. He's a walking dictionary when it comes to command line in Windows or Linux. Sweet. Yeah, I gave up TV years back, and I don't miss it at all. Greetings, Certivel. How's it going there? All right. IT in my school thinks Linux is a hacking tool and is only used by hackers. Your school needs new IT, man. How do you copy an ISO of a system? I don't remember. Does anybody know the name of the package tool? I forget the name of it, but it allows you to take whatever you have and basically create a Linux distro out of it. It's a specific package. She is in life now. I saw the Ubuntu drop out. I saw the Ubuntu dropout college video. Yeah, it's like it won't run an exe. Ugh. Fix the mistake, Dell. I'm too stupid. Video's hilarious and embarrassing at the same time. Yep. Leaks broke that are CIA stories out of the top secret program on Amazon cloud servers. Yeah, that was funny. They had it's an AWS account that it wasn't locked full of CIA documents. Whoops. Proprietary software is also probably my school. A lot of people are really indoctrinated to use it. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. There's a tool to make it easier. Linux and other stuff made a video on it called How to Create ISO Image Using VirtualBox and SystemBack. It might be SystemBack. I think it's SystemBack is one I was thinking of. Making the ISO image from a VirtualBox is a little bit different, but I think SystemBack is the one. I know English Bob used, I think it was SystemBack to create his Ubuntu Linux. So that might be a good one. Check out what he did on his explanations. I think he explains it. I think it might be SystemBack. So we want to get rid of, just talk them into running a port scan on their entire school network. They don't like it. Yeah, locking someone into one ecosystem is not a good way to learn. Nope. Things continue, but still works fine. Well, then I'll have to go install Arch. So, well, see you, Piggy Uniform. Yeah, hopefully you get it figured out. Sorry, I can't help with it right this second, just because I'm in the middle of hopefully staying on topic, and hopefully we'll finish it on time. But I've covered my first point, and we're 30 minutes in, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right back in. Let's see. Passwords. Let's have a quick look at passwords. This is one of those core things they don't really teach you about. Like, you know, use a password that's complicated. Don't tell other people. Don't make it your name 123. You know, like, my password is Ryan 123. Yay! Way for security. And I'm going to look at, everything wants its own passwords, of course, and I'm just resisting most sites that aren't required, that absolutely require passwords. No, I'm not going to mess with that. Let's see. So basically, though, with how many passwords we frequently have to use, we need to determine some form of password management that works for us. And that might be a password manager. It might be something else. I only use password managers for one account because they absolutely require it, and we need to know on file what you're using. For the most part, I use just a basic spreadsheet on a encrypted hard drive with an encrypted home folder. And that's what I do, but it's, that system is never turned on except when I need to reference it. And then I'll just print out a paper copy of my passwords, because your chance of getting a physical breach is way more lower chance than getting a digital breach. If somebody physically coming in here, then they have to know what a password list is to actually take it. If it's just in a stack of papers or something, like, I'm not taking that stack of papers. There's nothing in there that's useful. They'll be focusing on the TV or whatever, So first, let's talk about what makes a good password. It needs to be too complicated to be easily guessed. It's not a palindrome. Of course, a palindrome is, A, B, C, B, A. A palindrome is just a sequence up and then that same sequence back. So we don't want to have a lot of existing words or personal information. One person was telling me about their school locked their passwords into one thing. They couldn't change them, and it was their birth date. Yeah. It's like every school, like the classes throw parties for their kids. Yay, it's so-and-so's birthday. Great. You just informed the local hacker kid on what XYZ's password happens to be for his email. Well, this'll be fun, But there are schools so stupid that you can't change the password, and they've locked the password into either your social security number or your birthday, which is like, yeah, it's like these IT departments that do that, just fire them. Fire them. We can do better without them. We may as well get Chinese/Russian hackers to be our IT networks if that's the security they're going to do. I mean, really. All right. So you want to have about 8 to 10 characters long. You should have uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters. And then what you need to do is, one thing that you can do is you can have one core of a piece of a password, like, my cat's names, which I don't do, so, don't even try. But you can have like your cat's name, 242, and then as your first part that always stays the same. And then you can pick the second half of the password, something that might be related to the site or whatever else. And then that way you can have a system that's randomized, hard to guess, but memorizable. You could do a system like that. And then just make sure, though, that you never use the same password for multiple different sites. Because what happens is if a data breach occurs, they take that data and they'll just feed it into an automated system and pass, fail, does it work or does it not? And the thing is that very few people are actually going to take the password list that they've hacked and stolen and look at the actual password. So it's not like they can easily figure out your pattern if you happen to be using a pattern system. If you're using randomized, one different one for every site, they're just out anyway. But if you are using some type of pattern thing, it could cause an impact. The only way that that's really going to cause an impact for you is if you are specifically targeted for some reason, which could be an identity thief is targeting you for one reason to figure out more information about you. They might gain access to your passwords and try and figure out how to do that. So that's what you want to do is just have good things. Now, there are tools you can use that will randomly give you passwords or give you printout cards as hints and memory tools to figure out what passwords are. You memorize or write down a sequence of things, cross-reference that to your card. It produces what would be called a double cipher. And then you can figure out what your password is from that. And so with that, that's kind of what you want to do. Separate passwords for every individual site. They should be complicated. If you can do a system and remember it, that's cool. If you're just doing everything random, that's cool. And then figure out some type of password management. So with password management, you will have too many passwords to remember. I don't know how many accounts I have. I keep my accounts to absolute minimum, and I still have like 50-ish. So you might want to have, you will need some type of password management, whether that's writing them down or you never want them on a spreadsheet in the clear. If they are on a computer you use on a regular basis, password protect that file with a separate password that is physically available to you. Okay. I prefer to keep those off of the main computers I use, only referencing or updating those as I need it. But they are on a spreadsheet because if I need to take a backup of my password things, the last thing I have time for is to mess around inside of a password manager, get them all out. But you can import them into the password manager. But if you are using a password manager, you never use an online password manager. That I have no idea why some people are silly enough to put their information into those things. Because an online password manager, if somebody breaches that, and they are big hack targets, if somebody breaches it and collects the data, now they have access to all of your passwords. And that happened last week across the group. And it's still unclear exactly what data was taken. Of course, I also have a mention here, two-factor authentication. You want to use some type of two-factor authentication, but avoid using your phone number because what ends up happening is your cell phone becomes the weak target. If somebody can access your cell phone, they now can have access to the two-factor authentication on everything. So I use a YubiKey for any accounts I can use that with, and because it's a physical device, somebody have to break in and steal the physical device to get it. Or you can use an alternative email. Now, for the purposes of education, that should never be your personal email. In fact, I would not use my personal email for any of those. Create a separate email that nobody has access to on some other service that you'd never really use. You may not even like the service. You don't use it for anything except two-factor authentications of your other email accounts. That's the best way to do that. So that's your password management. Let's have a look. It looks like comments being blown up on me over here. Let's see. Partition tool is pretty handy. Works when I couldn't make Clonezilla do squat. Yeah, Clonezilla's good. I want to say Linux Mint might have the ability to make an ISO out of things. I know I've copied ISOs before without a problem. Yeah, your basic disks, your basic disk utility can do that. Can I find that tool? I'm not finding anything but a Windows tool. Which tool are you looking for? Password is superior. 1, 2, 3, 4 password. Yeah. The most hilarious password I've ever seen. Now, I have access to a lot of different people's passwords because I manage so many websites. It's like, I need FTP access. That usually means I take their whole hosting access. In many cases, I have access to their full Google accounts in their entire life. If I got crazy and malicious, I could be like, evil. But I don't do that, fortunately. Even the clients that make me mad. So I get this call in. It's like, hey, my WordPress site was hacked. Can you fix it? Sure, I can fix it. All right, I need your login credentials. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Well, we've identified the problem, folks. We have identified the problem, folks. Oh boy. My sophomore year, I'm going to take Adobe's certification test, of which I call the how well can you use this specific proprietary ecosystem that you cannot stray away from test. Go in there and have GIMP installed on your computer. See what they say. Password. Best password ever. Yep. It's a Windows tool, I'm afraid. I used it to fix an issue on my Windows machine. School doesn't do that, surprisingly. Looking for tools like System Back. Windows is disgusting to me. Always very good to have a vocabulary of Linux tools. My school, they give us nothing to protect passwords. In fact, we got intoed by Google Classroom and the teacher logged into my friend's account. That just proves the security of my school. Yeah. Derp. We don't know anything about internet security. We just want y'all all to be online. Because online's where it is, folks. And then they try to be trendy. Best password is the form of a sentence. Yeah. Try Gparted. Yeah. Intro, not intoed? Huh. Tip, if you use characters that are not part of the original ASCII, makes password stronger. Okay. Yeah, that's that might be a good plan. Will Gparted clone? Really? Huh. I don't know if I don't know about that. I know the disk management does, like the disks that comes installed on. Let's see. Let me find my screen. All right. So the disk manager will here. You should be able to. Let's see. Right click or click down here on your settings and create a partition image. So you can actually do it from the basic. This is just the basic generic disk management tool. Comes on, most Linux distros, and you can install it from the repository if you don't have it. So that's what I would actually look at using. I thought there might be another one, but that would do it. There's another one that basically produces like an install type media as well, though, and that's one I was trying to remember what it was. Oh boy. Use for mini tool now. Clone my Windows machine. System backs up the operating system in ISO, allows you to restore it like an installer with a password username, just like the Ubuntu installer. Yeah, I thought that's what he had used. What Linux Bob or English Bob used. Example: I like Blue Pasta on Jupyter. I like Blue Pasta on Jupyter too. What's that your password for? Yeah, what's that your password for? Hi, TFHT Daily. How's it going? All right. Oh, Google, fix your comment system. All right. I want to scroll down. If I want to go all the way to the bottom, Google, I will click on the blue thing here. This goes all the way to the bottom. I know what that does. I want to stay where I was. Thank you. Yeah, apparently the stream is password protected. Oh boy. Race for Windows, best password of all. Yeah, there you go. Now nobody can break into my Windows computer or eat passwords with sewage. What? Something like that. Show hide panel hangs in Unity. They never fixed it. All right, it looks like we are officially back. I have no idea what happened with my internet. Like, it didn't say it went offline, but my OBS dropped to 0, and then, but it was still saying internet was working on the router level. So I just hit the pause and restart on the router level. Hopefully it did not break my stream into 2 different videos again. That would be funny. If so, welcome to part 2, where we'll consider the rest of my information. Garbage ISP. Yep. There was a stream that was out. Yeah, greetings, Lance. How's it going? Yeah, his and mine went out. Wow. Yeah, maybe it was a Comcast hiccup. They got mad. They finally watched my Comcast video from the other week. Jeez. Two minutes before Caesar out messages. Yep, that's right. Yeah, it sometimes takes a while. If I had watched the screen over here, I would have saw the thing go down to 0. But may I interest you in a free copy of Adobe After Effects Pro? Well, all you have to do is give me your IP address and computer password and disable your firewall. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm going to go right on there. I'm going to type in all of the information right here. I'll even give you like my wireless access, my social security number, and 6 major credit cards, okay? Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at the next parts here we're going to talk about. So the next thing we want to discuss is the applications. So the various applications you may be required to use for educational purposes include your LMS system, your learning management systems, and your Google / Microsoft, your school account, basically. Those are kind of like your required services, and then you'll also have a lot of your optional services, like your your homework process articles, various articles you might be reading, or educational games. Educational games. Yep. So with educational games, that kind of gets scary. But first, we're going to look at the required services. So the educational service market's getting very fierce. You have Google still in the dominant lead, I believe. Microsoft is coming in because, like, Microsoft is like, they're like this, just these ginormous, I don't think I want to use that word. You know what? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to use that word. Microsoft sees success in other areas that involve data collection. They're like, data! We're late to the data part. We're going to hoard it all. Hoard all the data. And so now they're getting into the school system as well. And so they're trying to do all these things, like they're getting trendy, like Minecraft Education Edition. That makes no sense to me. But anyway, so basically what my advice is regarding these accounts. Number one, you only use these for school-related stuff. Do not log into it anywhere else. Don't use it for anything else. Don't use it on your own time. Don't use it on your personal computer. Log in when you need it. Do your schoolwork, log out, and then maybe clear your cache or your cookies. Especially if you have to use the same account and the same computer. And of course, once you graduate school, dump that stupid account and never touch it again. Just delete it. Go in, delete. Make sure you have any files that you need off of there. Download a hard copy of them onto your computer and delete that account. Trash it. Never use it again, because all these services are doing is they're just using this data to collect more information about you. And with all of that collection that they're doing, it's all just about how much information can we find about these people. And in my opinion, they're probably doing psychological studies to see how people's opinions and changes and brand loyalties and whatever else move and migrate over time and in specific response to stimulus. Like, for example, Facebook, they were caught doing studies like human research studies. I thought they should be banned from the US for a year. Like, okay, you don't want to follow our laws, get out. If we start doing that serious stuff, these companies would take the initiative. But that's not going to happen. They get paid too much. All right. Now, once you've established a school computer, make sure you pick the good password, assuming your school allows you to change your password. Using a different password for all your services. Again, we'll mention the two-factor authentication, and as far as your optional services are concerned. So these will generally require you to, many of them will require you to create a login, some of them won't. If it's an education-only service, something stupid for the school, use your school email address, whatever else. Don't do any two-factor authentication, but don't fill out any information is not absolutely required. Now, those that do not require to log in, they will follow the two classes. They will either be administered by some university or they will be administered by some company that's trying to collect a bunch of data. The university places to gather articles, research, whatever else is always better because they have budgets for education, it's not for collecting a bunch of data. They don't mess with that kind of stuff under most cases. But the companies will. They're going to install ad networks. They're going to track what they can track. They're going to sell that information. They're going to collect email addresses and names and addresses when they can. They're going to sell that data. It's part of a business model. They're giving you a free thing to get all these people come in, to collect all this data, to turn around and sell it to somebody else. You are the product on a free service. And unfortunately, the teachers unfortunately are just so ignorant about a lot of what's going on that we're like, oh, look at this cool free thing. Hey, use this. Everybody use this. And before you know it, we got craziness in the streets. So that's kind of, you got to be careful with those. So, don't fill out every bit of information that they specifically want. So that's kind of that. Let's have a quick look at comments again. Well, the ISP dial-up use first two letters of your login/email followed by 4 digits. Easy to crack every user. Yours AOL use the first 6 characters no matter how long the password. That's funny. 16 has snapshot that can use to create ISO. Cool. Yeah, MX16 has a lot of great tools. Nice. Okay, put the worst wallpaper on my laptop. It's so vulgar, but it makes fun of Mark Zuckerberg. Nice. Cool math games. I think a friend of mine told me about cool math games. I'm going to have a look at cool math games real quick. Is it Cool Math Dash Games? Let's have a quick look at this site. I think this is the one you're talking about. All right, check. All right, making sure my mic worked on this. All right, so here we have, I think this is the site you're talking about. Lots of cool math games, so let's have a look here. I'm going to, let's see. I want to see if I can, I thought it was possible that I could, let's see, open blockable items. Okay. Google syndication sites. So there's a pre-bid. What's that? Analytics. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disable on cool math games. Reload. Let's see what happens. Whoa! 1, 2. Holy moly! Yeah! We've got some ants. Wowzers, this is what I'm talking about, man. This has gone crazy. Looks like Google Ads. That's an ad. Okay, that's a self ad. This ad here is not loading. Occasionally, if I have ad blocker installed, like literally this thing is blocking, like it's still blocking ads. This site is so full of ads. That's what their business model is. All this is to purchase stuff. Like it's just to collect your data. Let's have a look at Constructive Media. Who makes this monstrosity? Collective Media, our digital products make learning fun for 53 million monthly users. Cool Math, coolmath4kids.com. Cool Math Games, here's your career. You know what is completely missing? Does anybody see what's completely missing from this page? This site is actually in violation of California privacy laws. If this site operates in California, it is doing so illegally. Because there is no information on here on cookie policies, and I'm guaranteed they're collecting cookies. Let's just have a quick look at cookies. Okay, so they're collecting cookies. They're not disclosing the fact they have cookies. They're not disclosing any information about privacy, and it's a site that is geared towards minors specifically. And they have no information about privacy policy. If this operates in California, which it does, because unless the state of California has blocked it, they're in violation of California privacy laws. Let's go back and have a quick look at the site again. Now that I've turned off my ads, let's see if the ads load. And yeah, look at that. Yeah, Harry Potter quiz. Yeah. Ooh, look at this. 1st through 8th grade. I really wish I'd get the rest of these ads to load. And you wonder why kids have ADD and or seizures? This site's why, man. Look at all this stuff. All right, so you get all this. Of course, go ad-free. You can go the ad-free version over here. Your email. Whoa. Why do we have a credit card? Please accept the terms of use. Let's have a look at terms of use. General terms of use, Cool Math's contest. By accessing this site, you agree to be bound by the agreement and terms of privacy, which are incorporated. Makes no promise our visitors' grades will improve by the use of any of our family of sites. That's exciting to know. Cool Math LLC does not guarantee accuracy of any information. Included in our family site is meant to supply standard academic courses and classroom. We are not responsible for any of the content in or any use of our licensed content. That's authored by people not employed by Cool Math, such as our games at Cool Math. So in other words, these guys are conglomerating a whole lot of third-party applications from some other people, and they're not responsible for what the other people put in their apps. That's good to know. Not responsible for any ads that appear on our sites via error or malware and viruses. Yeah. Okay. Any material on this site as well as the organization laid on the site except for our license. Our own, copyrighted by Cool Math. Okay. Irrespective of your residence of any user, these terms shall be governed by New York law, excluding its conflicts of law principles except for claims related to intellectual property and disputes that qualify. No class action may be pursued or maintained with respects of any dispute regarding these terms of use. That phrase right there just makes me want to go slap the computer screen silly. We administer the Cool Math family of sites from the United States of America. If you choose to access Cool Math sites from outside the United States, you consent to the transfer of information outside your country of residence. This document is subject to change. When it does, the change will be posted on this page. Your continued use of Cool Math family indicates that you accept the terms spelled out in the document. There's subscriber only. Subscriptions for subscriber-only content are auto-renewing. This means we will bill the credit card you provide to us upon your initial purchase or at the time of your free trial, if applicable, and on a recurring basis at the beginning of each renewal period. By signing up for the service, you authorize recurring charges. You agree that Coolmouth will not be responsible for any expenses that may incur as a result from overdrawing money from your bank account or exceeding your credit limit as a result of an automatic charge under this agreement. Please note we use a third party not affiliated with us to process payments for subscriber-only content. Let's see. Oh, so you actually have to email them to get off of the auto subscription. That's exciting. Oh, there's a privacy policy too. Sweet. Let's have a look at the privacy policy. May collect information about users' web browsers. We look at what sites visitors came from and what sites visitors go to when they leave. We often do this in order to analyze our web traffic in order to make improvements to our site. We may use or allow third parties to use tracking tools like browser cookies and web beacons. To learn more about these tools and how you can control them, you can click here. Ooh, that's about our ads. Okay. Analysis of the traffic. Let's see. Information to about our services, i.e. we're lying. I'm going to collect your feedback. If you subscribe to our user only, we collect information such as your name, address, username, password, and payment information, or provide you the subscription service. Okay, sharing. We will share information with third parties who perform services on our behalf. For example, we may share information with a vendor who conducts a satisfaction survey on our behalf in order to improve our site. As another example, we share information with a third party not affiliated with us. Let's see. We may share information with any successor to or part of our business. We may share information for any other reasons described to you. This site and children. We do not knowingly collect personally identifiable information from children under 13. If you are a parent or legal guardian and think your child under 13 has given us information, you can email us. You can also write to us at the address listed at the end of this privacy policy. Mark your inquiries COPA information, parents, to learn more about how to protect online privacy. Click here, which is going to the FCC's website. Well, there's their privacy policy. Well, about our ads. Yeah, so their entire business model is collecting data, selling, of course, their ad-free service, but pushing a lot of ads to their site. So, that's kind of what Cool Games is all about. Oh, boy. Minecraft Education Edition equals another sad excuse for schools to waste money. Yes, it's actually a subscription service. Hell is Minecraft educational? That was a question I was asking myself. Apparently you can drop in little scripts of code that will give you stuff, apparently. I don't know. It's educational because Microsoft. Yes, Microsoft. That is why it's educational. As we know, public schools are famous for just having too much money. Cost is 1 human soul. No, actually it's 30 human souls, the average number of students in a classroom. Per class, of course. It's 30 human souls per classroom institution of educational. I want to say after the 1-year initial trial period of something like 10 a month or something. I don't know. Let's look that up real quick. Minecraft Educational Edition. Explore a world of learning, i.e., we're trying to cash in on trendiness. Is there okay, that's nice how it works. Why Minecraft in the classroom? Tech specs. I don't know. Is price a tech spec? Pricing is available to purchase for $5 per user per year or through a district-wide licensing model. We also offer a free trial where users have a limited number of logins. 25 for teachers. What is up with this? Like, do these people not know how to build a website? Like, I don't even know how to do that in website. I don't even know how they managed to break up a word on a line ending on a website. I don't, like, this is a skill. This is a skill that is, like, unheard of to me. Look at it. District what? I don't even know. Anyway, and 10 for students. You know what? I bet they're using Kufon. If they're using Kufon in here, I will laugh collectively. Have a look. They're doing a word break all? That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Well, at least I've never actually used that CSS element. I thought it was stupid. Okay, that explains it. They're not doing Kufon. They're using word break all. That's even dumber. Okay, good enough. Before the paid license will be required to continue playing. Okay, so it costs $5 per user per year. So not outrageously expensive, but oh boy, how the money can roll right on in as the school district's like, we would like to pay for one copy for everybody, and Microsoft's going, oh boy, we getting some money for Minecraft. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Despondent. You got there before I did, apparently. All right. You see more Raspberry Pis in school. I'd much rather than some MC edition plus an MC Pi edition. Yeah. Don't disable ad block. That page will turn into literal cancer. Too late. Yep. Amputate. Greetings, Anarita. How are you? Burn it with fire. Euthanize it. She's dead, Jim. Well, AOL phishing program stole your AOL IM login password. It was easy to find anyone's full name and birthday by searching ICQ. Used to use that site in school. Didn't have ads. Sadly, it went to the garbage route and got bought out by some company that was run by a teacher, by the way. Huh. Yeah, well. You know, and frankly, if I had built a cool website and somebody came down and says, hey, we'd like to give you $10 million for that thing because we think it's a way that we exploit people, I'd be like, you know what? Sure, it ain't mine, baby. I'll take a retirement fund for a silly website. And then, you know, and people can choose to stay with it or not stay with it, and I'm not bothered one way or the other. But yeah, if I came up with a cool idea like that, and you know, and somebody's like, here's $10 million, can I buy your site? Sure. Why not? I'd sell a site like that for $10 million, and they can pollute it all they want. No, there are laws on it. Yeah, California has some weird internet privacy laws, very much like the EU, actually. If a site is in the EU and it uses cookies, it absolutely must contain a cookie policy. Otherwise, you are violating EU laws. What happened to educational board games? Why does everything have to be electronic? Because we are producing little children. We want to give them an excuse to label them as ADHD so we can sell drugs to them, which shockingly, the Ritalin that we give kids looks a surprising amount like meth, which is kind of funny. I'm going to look that up real quick, though. Meth versus Ritalin. I don't even know how to spell Ritalin. Yeah, I think that's I think that was the word I was looking for. Adderall. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, this is exciting. So here's meth, and here's Adderall. So apparently we have a methyl group here on the meth. We have a proton here on the Adderall. Seeing what else I see in here. Let's see, and that's on an amino group. That's why. Sell drugs. That's my final verdict. Website ad free before some random company had to buy it up. Yeah. Kids that lose board games. Yeah. It's like letting them learn that life isn't fair. So in other words, they are incredibly lazy and irresponsible and trying to write themselves a legal way out of the law. Run a daycare and never would allow electronics to teach kids. So use flashcards. Okay, you know, this is a cool thing. If you want to read a fascinating book on the subject, I can't remember which one because they both had similar ideologies. So I want to say it was called The Disappearance of Childhood by Neil Postman, where he makes the argument in there about why electronic media, of course, that's written in the 80s before all this internet stuff, but he's talking about the dangers with these educational programs on television. You know, and I remember I was a kid about the time that book was being written, and I remember they had Reading Rainbow, and we had, you know, I forget what the other ones were, but the old popular TV shows that, you know, a couple times a month we'd rat there at the school and all turn our heads to the idiot box and go, you know. But Postman outlined beautifully the major problems and challenges with that. And actually, that entire thing is going to be something I'm going to talk about in another video. So I'll tell you now. Read The Disappearance of Childhood by Neil Postman. But let me see if I can find that real quick. Find a link for it. I need this one, I think. Oh, come on, website. Finish loading. All right, so here is the book, Disappearance of Childhood, on Amazon. That is an absolutely amazing book, talking a lot about this kind of stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to the video description now before I forget. All right. And so that book there is a fascinating story on just on the problems with electronic information. All right. Let's see. Gives kids an iPad and leave them who would want to go to the park where there's kids. Yeah, that's right. Still have a copy of board games. Sorry, I gave it to my niece. She hasn't touched it. I'd love them to try and experience things before computers. A lot of it is we as the parents and the leaders of these kids, we have to say, hey guys, we're shutting off the TV and the computers and the phones and all this, and we're playing a board game. Or we're playing some cards. Or we're doing something that does not require technology. And that's kind of that. All right. I'm not going to possibly catch up on all these comments. There's just too many coming too quickly. All right. We're going to jump back over here. Let's see. So other considerations I wanted to mention here. So one of these considerations is emails and texts. And so the challenge here is with everyone carrying around a portable little idiot box in their phone. We get texts, we get emails, we get all sorts of things that are like, oh, check out this new website. Well, the problem on a text message specifically is you cannot verify the website, especially if it's like one of the short linked URLs. Like if you get one of those short codes, you don't know what the thing's going. It's going who knows where. So basically, the challenge with these is if you get a link in a text message that it is not a URL you can see where it's coming from, don't bother clicking it. Don't waste your time. In an email, at least you should be able to hover over it and look at where the source is to see if it's legitimate. But if you get a link that you click on it, it opens up to a login page. Never, ever, ever, ever log into a login page that you've clicked on an email or on a text. Usually it's going to be a phishing scam. You know, if Facebook's going to send you something, or Amazon's going to send you something, or Google's going to send you something, or Microsoft's going to send you something, it would usually be some type of account alert. Yeah, unfortunately, they do include a link to their site. But phishing scams do the same thing. So if you get something and you think there's something goofy with one of those accounts, you go straight to the website, you log in directly there, and then you check your account information over there. Chances are it's just a phishing scheme. So never under any circumstances do you click the link in there and fill out information. Regarding pop-ups, and this is the big one that for me that I really think we need to keep track of, is the fact that we are in a society where we give all these forms to our kids. We give our kids the little fill-ins. We tell our kids what we need to fill out. We give them, in fact, in even the school systems, medical systems, whatever else, we ask for more information than is required for the service rendered. And so one of the things we have to do as a society and as people is we need to figure out what information can we say, no, we're not filling that out. And just because a pop-up appears on your screen asking for information doesn't mean you fill it out. In fact, I would say never fill something out until you are intentional and you absolutely have verified it's required to do. So that's kind of it. So be very careful of pop-ups. Be very careful of any of that kind of stuff. Like the biggest thing for me, like I absolutely hate pop-ups on websites. Now we got the CSS ones that are very impossible to block. And it's just like, okay, no, stop. Stop doing all these pop-ups. But as students, as people, teach your students, do not fill out a form just because it popped up. In fact, every time you fill out a form that pops up in front of your face, you're validating that pop-up. And that's validating bad behavior on the internet. We need to get to that point where a form pops up, we verify everything before we do anything. Don't fill out any other information, and never fill out anything that's not absolutely required. And if there's some silly service that's like needs something and it has to have a name to go on, they don't need your name. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fill it out. Or make something up. Bob Smith. Email, you ain't getting it .com. Yeah, actually, I do that a lot. I don't know who has abc.gef.hij, but whoever does, man, you get a lot of email my way. Those are kind of my thoughts on the matter. Let's go ahead and look at some final comment stuff. See if I can get caught up. Days of electronic batteries out, kids just go bananas. We're back in my day. Get a bum spanking goes outside too much. Yep. Child abuse. All right. These are people who want to help them learn coding. Yeah. Express since your home directory password encoded in the header, easily decoded, not encrypted. So if you use your real name as Windows login, they got it no matter what name you showed in the message. That's funny. Real coding. Yeah, on the Minecraft Education Edition, it's like pretend to put stuff in here. It's, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of if you watch the like the Dog Days of Summer where Greg Heffley gets that phone and it has the two buttons, home and 911, right? And it's just like, that's kind of what the type of programming it is. You know, programming is not you drag and drop stuff here and there. That's not programming. Okay? And I don't care, like, it looks like all they did for this Minecraft Education Edition is you could put in predefined things. You know what it's very much like? Maybe it was programming. Who knows? It's very much like the old days when you'd order the program and they'd give you the script and you'd have to manually type in the code. And once you manually type the thing in, you'd hit the button and then your game would run. That's kind of what it was like. Well, that's kind of like what Minecraft thing's doing now. It's like, that's not programming. You know, programming is more advanced than that. You want to know programming? Like, here's one language programming, okay? And that seems, that seems scary, but that's the reality of it, that it takes effort to learn this stuff. And I don't care how much you dress it up in the latest fad video game, you're just not going to teach people programming in that way. Word break is great with web design. Yeah, I'm telling you. Let me post the URL. There was a contract template. There should be a privacy template too. NK is web development paperwork. Sure. Thanks for your money, generic public school. You really helped us track more data on your kids. Yep. That's right. Simple, straight and forward, and keep as brief as possible. Best of luck. I'm on the same track. Yeah. You can't milk a dead cow. No money in it. Yeah, and that's the same actual argument with the healthcare system. You know, why the healthcare system is so screwed up. It's not as much the healthcare like the food industry. Like, they're kind of in cahoots a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Because, you know, healthy people don't net you any money. Dead people don't net you any money. But chronically ill people are a gold mine. Go figure. You just live healthier, you know, eat better food and exercise and avoid 99.9 repeating % of the crap in the grocery store, you're a lot healthier. It's not a fun day. Ritalin is rat poison, isn't it? No, it's meth. It's meth. Okay. Don't think that's legit. Don't think that's legit, though. I doubt I'll find it, but I can verify in Merck. It's the Adderall. Yeah, I'm a geeky nerd. I have a Merck manual on my desk. I'm not sure Adderall's going to be in here or not. This is a little older one, and it might be in here by its organic name, and I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Yeah, I might just have to verify that part later, but check the index real quick. Like that sound? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up Adderall later. But no, I mean, I completely agree with that. I'm guessing that's what you were commenting on. I'll have to look that up later. Also, this is 13th edition, so that's from quite a ways back. I'm not even sure meth was really existed when this one was done, but I'll look it up later and verify. But yeah, let's see. I'll let you know your review of MK16 was pretty bad. It's obviously didn't take it for a spin before viewing. Bad practice. That's okay. Like I said, I wasn't doing a review. This was not a review. Watch it again. It was a impression, which I don't want to take it for a spin. I hate audio pop-ups because it wasn't a review. Oh. Thanks, FPS Machete. You responded faster than I did. See you later, Daniel. Ritalin for a few years. The final day I used it, I had an anxiety attack in front of the whole 4th grade class. They stopped the prescription immediately. Whoops. Having trouble with MX 16.1. I wasn't having, I mean, I only looked at it briefly, but no. Wouldn't boot. Giving a dual boot situation. Put mine on USB that can use on any computer. My Windows install bootloader is corrupted, and I'm gonna have to install Linux and fix Grub. Yeah. People in my class really think that programming is dragging stuff, and that just hurts me. Yeah. Greetings, John. I'm doing well. People really want to learn programming with Minecraft for whatever reason. They can go download the Minetest source code. There you go. They want something I can... Classmates asked me to fix their Windows bootloader. I just use Linux live image. They still refuse to use Linux. That's funny. I'd do Mint if I didn't have to burn so much time getting my Broadcom Wi-Fi USB adapter to work. Really? I mean, Mark, did you try 18? I thought 18 worked perfectly. I thought 17 was fine with the Broadcom modem. Maybe I was wrong about that, but I thought they definitely fixed it on 18. You should go back to Windows or Mac where you feel more at home. Way back from people last longer till 90 years now. We're lucky if we reach 70. Yep. Eating healthy is expensive. Not really. It can be expensive. I mean, granted, a box of Cheez-Its is less expensive than a head of lettuce, which is a scary statement, but it's not super expensive to eat healthy. But, I mean, I can understand that. Ran Linux for years. I ran several distros, actually. Managed to always trash my bootloader, though. Yeah, the computer I run this on, this big beastie computer, the bootloader is like the stupidest thing in the world. It's the UEFI. There's no way to manage it from the BIOS, so I have to boot the computer into Linux off a USB drive to fix the thing every time something goofy goes wrong. Oh, my wife has one too. Awesome, good to know. We'll share favorite stories from the Merc manual someday. For to let Windows Boot Manager be my only bootloader. See, and this is why I don't run true dual boots, because the bootloaders can interfere with each other. When I dual boot, I run them on completely different hard drives. You just call the drive I want to act as the loader. Never trust a distro. Handle it. Install grab. It's not dragging and dropping. It's typing code. 18.1 works fine. Broadcom wireless took too much effort. Huh. Well, I've reached the bottom of my content. I've reached the bottom of my comments. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. So thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry for the little blip of the internet halfway through there. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks like it got back on track without a real big hassle. Hopefully it didn't split into two videos, or maybe hopefully it did split into two videos. I have two videos for the price of one. Who knows? Always good for stats, right? All right, folks. I will be off now, and tomorrow we'll do another top 5. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do on my top 5 quite yet. We'll go ahead and do that. Should I feed the kitties before I go? I think I'll feed the kitties before I go. I got to get the kitty cam set back up, though, because obviously the cat's not sitting where he was. All right, we're going to switch over to the kitty cam, and then I'm going to feed the kitty a little bit, and then we will go ahead and wrap up for the evening. Oh, you dropped it.